Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz. We're going live today. We're going to finish part 3 of this video in a live format for questions, that sort of thing. We're going to take about 2 minutes or so to let people subscribe. I mean, not subscribe. Get onto the channel. I'm going to do some sharing myself here. So let me do some sharing. Asking y'all to share, and I don't share. That's not right. So, go ahead and share if you're finding this channel for the first time. Now, if you haven't saw the other 2 videos, you'll be okay. The concepts, you just have to go back and watch the other 2 videos, so you won't be lost or anything of that nature. But I do encourage you to go and check out the other 2 videos. The first one gives like a huge explanation based on this understanding, and then we can grow from that. Clear my throat. I didn't get no tea or coffee or anything to drink right now while I'm doing this, but it's all right. So let's share this. I'm just getting some shares out. If you're coming on, let me know where you are, what's going on with you, how's life treating you, how you're dealing with being, if you are stuck in the house, or if you had to go to work. I know like some people have to go to work. It's not always the best thing in situations like this. I'll be posting a video later that I talked about different opportunities that you have right now during this time frame that people are in the house. Hopefully you watch that video later, take advantage of some of the things that I talked about, how you can take this opportunity to get in better health, to have better relationships, to do all sorts of things of that nature. To build the business that you've been working on, really getting yourself involved in those things. Also, tonight, my wife and I, we haven't decided what time yet. We're going to decide that very shortly. But we are going to start doing a tag team marriage. If you've been watching us, we had tag team wedding. Tag team wedding is for the wedding that we've already had, the small family one, but also the big one that everybody's invited to for next year at the Georgia Aquarium. We are going to start our tag team. We started our tag team wedding channel. There are no videos up for it tonight yet. Tonight will be the first video that will be live on Tag Team Wedding on YouTube, as well as Tag Team Marriage. Sorry, it's Tag Team Marriage on YouTube, and it's Tag Team Wedding is the group on Facebook, which will soon be changing that group to Tag Team Wedding as well. But if you've seen the other 2 videos concerning how to go limitless by using the chakra method, we're going to use the chakra method to go limitless. Let's get an understanding of what is limitless before we go into these last ones. And I'll give a brief overview of the first 2, the first 2 that we dealt with. The first 2 videos, I should say, not the first 2, because we've done like all the other chakras except for the last 3. Basically, chakras are energy pools, so to speak. There was a Airbender cartoon that explained it so brilliantly a while back that I used it to teach my kids more about chakras. But it is the idea of there are points of energy within your body. This is what chiropractors and acupuncturists manipulate in order to relieve your body of pain or stress or, different endochromatic systems, get your endochromatic system online. So these pools of energy, things that have been studied for a long time, things that are spoken of in almost every idea of science and medicine and philosophies about how your body has energy in it. We all made of energy. But if those portals of energy are not being utilized properly, maybe they're not open, maybe they're too wide open in certain areas, or maybe you have them blocked so that you're not getting that full flow of energy. What acupuncturists and chiropractors try to do is to unblock those energies so that the energy will flow up your body, so that you'll have better health. We also know that without having that pineal gland in full functioning, you lack vision. So it's things of that nature. You lack the ability to love, the ability to, you live in a state of fear. And many people today live in a state of fear. And if they were to unblock that base chakra, then they wouldn't live in such fear. So the first video talked about what chakras are and how they operate within us. Opening your chakras, opening your nadis. The reason why when we did the stretching video the other day that I posted with my family, this stretching and meditating helps to open up your nadis, which is the pathways between chakras, and there are like hundreds of chakras throughout your entire body. But it opens up the pathway so that the energy can flow. So it's not just about opening the chakra itself, but also opening up the nadis. Uh, in this video, we're also going to talk about frequencies and vibration that will help open up your chakras as well. So we talked about in the first one, we just got to the base chakra. Your base chakra is blocked by fear. So we focus on that chakra to open up the fear. And I showed you how to meditate, how to squeeze the chakra area, bring the air, the energy up, and then release it out to bring in the prana of life and breathe out the nirvana of heaven, to release, to let go. And we're going to really get more into that nirvana of letting go in this video. So we talked about the base chakra, it's fear. The sacral chakra, which is your sexual energy. What's up, Rashonda? How you doing? Your sexual energy, your sacral chakra, to bring that sexual transmutation of energy into its manifestation powers. We talked about how Napoleon Hill spoke on this quite often, how this is something that has been known for a very long time, of taking your sacral energy, utilizing sex transmutation, that the Ankh has a representation of sex transmutation, of bringing that energy up and unking it around from the heart energy and around your body to maintain it and keep it, not lose it. If you saw my videos on sexual alchemy, I discussed that in greater detail as to other uses of it. We talked about in the previous video about your power chakra. This is where the sexual chakra, the sacral chakra is blocked by guilt, and your power chakra is blocked by shame. We talked about letting go of that shame and being able to really get into your gut brain. Your gut brain is the one that's connected to like universal energy, connected to universal knowledge. It's the one that is at the forefront of your instincts. We sit around all day, we'll say that, oh man, I knew I should have done this, or I should have done that. My gut was telling me to do this or telling me to do that. You actually have, biologically, you have a neural network in your stomach that is similar to your brain that is firing off. So you do have thoughts and instincts that come from your brain, from your gut. And we all say that, and we have that fire in our belly, that instinct to do this, or we knew we should have done that. We should have turned right when we turned left, or turned left when we should have turned right. So we talked about that. And the last one, in the other video, we talked about your heart chakra. And this is blocked by grief. This is where your love, your creativity comes into play. If you are walking around still holding on to and dragging grief and dragging the loss of your love, then you know what I just realized? I am so far ahead of myself. I just realized something, y'all. So this is going to be extra long. This is going to be extra long. You know why? Because I never published part 2. I realized that part 2, I just realized at this very moment, part 2, I did the video. Something happened to the sound, and I never went back and redid part 2 and published it. So even though this thing says part 3, I'm going to change the title after I finish it to part 2 and part 3. Because all those things I just talked about, the sacral chakra, the power chakra, and the heart chakra, I didn't go over. That video didn't get published. Oh my goodness. So let's go back. Let's go back. Now, I gave a brief understanding of the last 3 chakras that deal with this level of understanding, the physical body, right? In the physical body, we deal with the heart chakra is the one that bridges, right? It bridges the gap between the spiritual and the physical, between this third dimensional plane of understanding and the higher planes of understanding. We talk about hermetics all the time. So in the law of correspondence, there is the idea of as above, so below. There's the law, not the idea of as above, so below. So when we talk about as above, so below, this is discussing how there is like the spiritual plane A, spiritual plane B, spiritual plane C, and then it begins physical plane A, physical plane B, physical plane C, and then mineral plane, A, B, and C. Now, at the point of spiritual plane C and physical plane A, this is where the gray connection goes. This is where that level goes. So If you are existing in a mindset or a spiritual state or energetic state of spiritual plane B or B or C, then you are not physically or mentally in that level where you're ready to bridge into your spiritual plane. This is where the heart chakra is the bridge. It takes a 90-degree turn in the heart chakra in order to go into the spiritual plane. So understanding that, let's go back and dig deeper to see how do we get to the point of being able to open that heart chakra. Because you can say, oh, my heart is open, my heart is open, my heart is open, my heart is open. But if your power chakra, your sacral chakra, your base chakra is blocked, then guess what? Your heart is not really open. It's an impossibility for your heart to be open, because the things that block your previous chakra, your lower chakras, if those are blocked, if you're living based on those, then you cannot really access that spiritual plane. You can speak it all day. You can think it all day. You can imagine yourself being in that crown all day, but it's not happening until you understand that you must open the lowers in order to elevate to the highers. Just in the same way of the as above, so below. If you are not functioning at a high level on the lower planes of understanding, the mineral plane, the physical plane, then the spiritual plane is not yours. You won't reach it. I'm just being honest. It's just the way it is. It's the understanding of it. It's an understanding from a long time ago for that. So, and I didn't put my phone on airplane mode, so we might get some interruption, but just stay with me. So let's briefly go over the chakras, and let's go over how we open these chakras up. I know this says part 3, but I might have to put part 1, 2, and 3 on this thing all in one. So that base chakra, as I said before, and I went into more detail on part 1 that did get published, of how it is an earth chakra. It is a foundation chakra. This is where your fear exists, but this is also where your stability and your foundation is. If we don't get this base chakra in complete understanding, then we live as mineral base plane exists. We live this mineral base plane existence. All things are halted. We may speak a lot of things, but nothing manifests itself. The only thing that manifests itself when you are living with a block base chakra is the law of cause and effect. But unfortunately, you are not the causal factor. You are the effect. When great things happen to you, most of the time, it is not because you were the causal factor, that your vibration had increased to the point where you manifested it. It happened because someone else was in a causal mode that created it to you. You were an offshoot of that manifestation. You are not the conductor of it. But what we have to do in our life is become that conductor of the manifestations that happen in our lives. So in order to go limitless, we have to unblock these chakras. First starting at your foundation chakra, at that base, that stability. It is blocked by fear. It is blocked by fear. Anytime you are existing in a situation and you are running on fear, then you are living in a situation where others are creating your manifestation, creating your life, manifesting how you live, your happiness, your joy, your experiences are all based on someone else. Right now, many are living in fear. That doesn't mean that we go out and we start kissing everybody and hugging everybody. No matter how you think about this situation, we don't do it. But we don't live in the fear of it. We still function, but we live smartly. We live intelligently. We do things that make sense. We don't go around hugging and kissing everybody, but we still live our life. A video that I shot earlier today that I will produce, I talked about how this is an opportunity. Instead of looking at this as a shutdown of life, living in the fear of life, this is an opportunity for you to grow in life, for you to grow your brand, grow your business. This is an opportunity for you to grow your relationships with your loved ones, grow your relationship with yourself, to understand deeper who you are, to take the time to study. I didn't realize that over the last year, I'm gonna say whole year, my life has became so busy throughout last year that I stopped studying as much as I studied before. I stopped reading as much as I used to read. I wasn't delving inside of myself as much as I used to because I allowed the distractions of life to overwhelm that aspect of my life. We can't allow it. This is an opportunity for you to be able to grow. So to not live in fear. Don't sit up and just, I got to hoard and stay and live in fear. But one of the way that we work on that initially, this is our beginning stage, and it's what I talked about in the first video, is through meditation. Meditation is one of the, if not the best way to move yourself past these things. So imagine in any situation, what are you most fearful of? Find that big thing that really lords over your life, and then see that thing in your meditation going away. What I taught you in the first video was that you squeeze that area, like your base chakra exists right in that area between your sexual organ and your anus. That area, the Kegel area, for those who have studied the Kegel exercises or Tantra. You squeeze that area. Imagine the energy of the earth pouring up through your body, the air coming in right there, that prana of air. And you breathe it in and you bring that up. Now, you want to hold it and move it to whatever chakra you're working on, whether you want to, and as we go through these, you'll understand which chakra you bring it up to, and then you release it from that point in order to manifest things. So we bring it up, we hold it. If you want to communicate through your throat chakra, and you bring it out, you breathe out the nirvana. As I explained in the first video, prana is the breath coming in. Nirvana is the releasing of it. If you were to breathe in the breath that we have been taught, the breath of life, the breathing is the what gives life. But breathing in itself is bringing in, but also the releasing. The prana is the bringing in. If you hold that breath, and I want you to try to hold your breath, the longer you hold it, the more toxins build up in your body. See, your blood system, your body is built that when you breathe in, it's taking in the oxygen, it's taking what is beneficial of it and spreading it all around. Do you speak to it? Do you speak it? This is new to me. Yes, we will get into speaking to it. And yes, you will speak to it. You can speak to it, but before you speak to it, we got to get it in parts of our system that actually works. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So you breathe that in, you hold it. If you hold your breath, your body takes in the great oxygen, that prana, and then it starts dropping off. As the blood circulates, it drops off the carbon dioxide in your body. It drops off the toxins, and now it expects you to expel the carbon dioxide, expel the toxin. Because the longer you hold it, the toxicity will build up, and then your body, that's not good for you. So then you release it. And every time you release it, that is the nirvana, the releasing. So it's not the holding on to the breath. It's not the holding on to things that you say, this is life. But it is the ability to bring it in and to release it, to bring money in and release it, bring people in and release them. And releasing them doesn't mean they leave your life, but you don't hold people in a position that cause them to become poisonous in your life, but let them be free. So breathe in, hold it, release it out. Now, one of the processes of going through this understanding is that we can speak and say that I have no fear. I am a conqueror. I'm not a survivor of cancer. I'm a conqueror of cancer. I'm not a survivor of poverty. I'm a conqueror of poverty. I'm not a survivor. We can go through many different speeches of that. But if we don't get this in our system, we don't get this connected. In the second video that I didn't publish, I talked about the fact that you have a brain, neural pathways, create your thoughts, right? You got it. You think about something, you think about something. We have two aspects of our brain. We have our cognitive brain, our awake brain, and we have our sleep brain, or we have our subconscious and our conscious. I don't like to say the subconscious as if it's sub below, because in actuality, the things that you truly believe are in your subconscious. It is in that conscious that exists, that takes over when you're asleep. That conscious that what your real statements about yourself and about life really are. Right? So you have two thought processes always going on in your brain. And meditating is not about clearing your brain, because you can never clear away all thoughts. You're always thinking something. Even as I speak right now, my brain is thinking other things. It's connecting pathways of other thought processes, other things that I've studied and learned, or even sometimes abstract thoughts that ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about will pour through my brain as I'm speaking. So your brain is always moving, always thinking. But it is that thought behind that, as we like to say, that back of your mind, that thought. You will say, I am a conqueror. I am a conqueror of poverty, that I am strong, that I am a believer in my faith. I am a walker in my faith. I am a great husband. I am a great father. You say these things. But then in the back of your mind, you really don't believe them. You really don't. And if that is the thought that you have in the back, that's the one that actually goes out and is manifested. I was having a conversation a couple days ago, and I was saying that people who, when people pray to God's ancestor, whomever, when people do their prayers or they do their manifesting statements and whatnot, that they often think that the answer came back as no. But in truth, the answer is always yes. The answer is always yes. You always actually get a yes. You pray to your God, you're going to get yes. And I'm going to say your God. You pray to what you believe, how you identify as the creator, as God. You think sometimes the answer is no because you didn't get what you verbally prayed for. But the answer is actually yes because you got what you actually think you deserve. Let me break it down in this way. Over my decades of my life, I've heard people pray, and they'll say, God, I'm about to lose my house. I'm looking for a financial blessing, Father. I just need you to, open a pathway for me to receive the finances to be able to gain my house, or somebody to come in and make a way for me not to lose my house. And they will say this, and then they will end it. But if it's your will that I leave this house, that I lose this house, I know you got something better for me. I know that it must be something else. Well, you just nullified the whole first part, because your real thought was the fact that you expect to lose your house, that you're accepting of a no. And because your real thought is that accepting of the no, that's often what you get. So it is not that you got a no, you got a yes, but the yes was to the stronger thought that you had, because you walked around with the doubt. You walked around with the idea that you'll probably lose it and more than likely lose it, because you in your natural can't see how it can function, how it could work. You in your mindsets can't see, how you conquer this situation. You see how you lose. And just as in the book, The Art of War, if you go into a battle already looking at how you lose, focus in any part of you focused on how you lose, then you've already lost the battle. One of the books I love to study, and I'm going to start studying that one in this time frame, is the Gospel of Thomas. It's one of the writings that was in Nag Hammadi. It's not in your canonized book, but it talks about if the two become one. I should save that. I'm gonna save that for when I talk about the heart in a second. But anyhow, the thing about it is, if you have a negative thought, many people will understand that they say that if two come together in agreement and tell the mountain to move, but and they believe it, then the mountain will move. Well, one of the versions that they ignore says that if you have no doubt, so you can't come together and have doubt. This is when people always walk around, they say, oh, we're going to touch and agree on this. No, you may touch and agree, and you may say, you know what, we're going to open up this business. But the other person is thinking like, hopefully, maybe. Well, if that's the thought they're putting, you're not in agreement. So you're going to get your answer, which your answer is going to be yes to your negative thought process. In the same way with the Hermetics, if your vibration is low, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the results of a low vibration. So we have to realize that our brain thinks that way. You got to get your meditation, your thoughts, so that they are unified. Your heart has neural pathways in the same format. And those neural pathways in your heart are emotions, because your brain rationalizes everything. Your heart emotionalizes everything. You can rationalize your way out of something just like you can emotionalize your way out of something. So if your heart, if your emotions, if those neural pathways in your heart have a negative emotion towards what you say that you want to bring forward in your life, that you want to manifest, then guess what? You're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. Right? If you're in a relationship and you are saying, you are out of your mouth, you're saying that from the power of your tongue, as people like to focus on just that you are saying that, oh, I'm going to manifest, love and greatness in my relationship. We're going to have a beautiful, loving relationship. But in your heart, you're feeling like this ain't going to work. This relationship is doomed. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm walking around on eggshells. I'm walking around feeling sad. Then guess what? You're not going to get the love that you expect. You're going to get the negative portions of it. You're going to get the broken portions of it. That's what's going to happen in your life. That's what you're going to have, that negative portion of your heart. So you got to control that emotion. This is what meditating and opening your chakras can do for you. Understanding the Hermetics and alchemy does that for you. So we got to get those brains in order, because your gut brain, it is pure. It just focuses on what is. It is your mind and your heart that takes away and emotionalize or rationalize what your instinct, what your gut originally told you. So we got to get those open. And the way we do that, and one of the ways we do it is through meditation. And it's a combination: meditation, the trivium, hermetics, and alchemy. Meditation gets us into a still moment where we can focus on it and we can start opening our mind, opening our brain, opening our heart, opening our sacral chakra, opening all our chakras so that the energy flows. The trivium is the understanding of gaining facts, putting those facts into an understanding, taking that understanding, putting it into practice that develops wisdom of knowing the experience and evaluating the experience. The hermetics of the natural laws of the universe, everything boils down to the hermetics. We have to understand and know that there's the law of mentalism. Whatever you think, everything is a mental creation. Whatever you think the all is, you are, everything is a mental creation. It starts in your mental thought. We have the law of correspondence, as above, so below. Whatever you affect on the lower affects the higher, and the higher affects the lower. The law of vibration, everything vibrates, everything moves, nothing stays the same, nothing is still, everything is moving, nothing, there's no such thing as death of anything. We just transmute energy from one point to the next point. And the law of polarity is that we move up the scale or down the scale. We are never stagnant in one point of the scale. You're always moving up or down, and we have to understand what is the scale. Is the scale heat, hot or cold, or is the actual scale temperature? And there are varying degrees all throughout. There's the law of rhythm, which everything swings back and forth, up and down the scale. Where are you on that scale? Where are you going to stay on that scale? You're going to stay here to the right, and as soon as you see yourself swinging to the left, you got to increase your vibration to get back to the right. If you want to maintain great love in a relationship, then you got to, every time you see it slow, the vibration slow and move towards misery and hatred, you got to get back to vibrating higher. I have this term, drives my wife crazy sometimes, right? We get into a disagreement, and in 2 seconds after the disagreement is over, I tell her, well, I'm back to happy. Meaning that my vibration is back up. I'm not going to wallow in it, I'm not going to think about it, I'm not going to contemplate it, I'm not going to let that negative vibration continue to move me into the lower end of the scale. Nope. I'm going back to the right. I'm going back to happy. That's my statement always, is back to happy. I need to TM that thing, back to happy. So there's a law of polarity. Now, and that's polarizing yourself on the polar scale using vibration, the law of vibration and the law of rhythm, the law of polarity, which what moves those, the true power, is in the law of cause and effect. For every cause, there is an effect. For every effect, there is a cause. Nothing happens by chance. There's a rational thought process. There's a reason for everything that happens, right? So there is no luck. Just get that out of the picture. There's no luck. The question is, are you the cause or are you the effect? Do you move? Do you cause things to move? Good to see you too, Johansson. Do you cause things to move, or are you moved by things? The more you, now, of course, there are things that move you. But the more you are the mover in your life, the more you are the causal factor in your life, then you create your effects. The true key of manifesting is to get a focused thought process, a focused idea in your mind, commit that to the actions that will move your vibration up that scale so that you gain the effect of what it should bring you. That is the manifestation. This is why the true power of scepter is the true scepter of power is in the understanding of cause and effect, because all the other laws, although the law of mentalism is superior than the law of cause and effect, because if your mind is not there, then your causal factors won't be there. You won't vibrate in the way that creates the manifestation. But if you got your mind right and you start functioning in a way that creates the effect, you will manifest and go limitless in your life. I guarantee it. I've had my ups and downs in it. I've had more ups than I've had downs. I have my times when I was clearly focused and moving forward, and I created that hypnotic rhythm that had me consistently moving and moving and moving. But I've had my moments when I've let myself become distracted, become lethargic, become emotionally deadened inside, that certain areas of my life dropped. At one point I was 300 plus pounds. Yes, I was. So in my health, I let it go. My vibration was incredibly low. So if we understand cause and effect, we're there. And then after cause and effect, there is the law of gender. The law of gender states that there is the duality of masculine and feminine energy in everything. Without masculine and feminine energy, you birth nothing. Masculine energy is the information, feminine energy is the nurturing and the movement of the development of it. If we look at it on a physical level, the man provides the sperm, the woman has the egg, but the nurturing happens in the egg. But the information, there's more information in the sperm that develops the person than in the egg. So, like, the sex is determined by the male, by the sperm, I should say. So, the masculine energy provides that info. The feminine energy provides the nurturing. But this is not to push one over the other. We all carry both masculine and feminine energy in everything that we do, and it takes that to birth anything. So, when we understand these things, and alchemy, of course, is transmuting one thing from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And it is mental alchemy that makes the mental and emotional alchemy that connects everything. So as we look at our chakras, that sacral chakra, so we talked about the base, that's blocked by fear. The sacral chakra is blocked by guilt. It is the guilt that we carry around about things that other people have said and done, and their ideas about us. As long as we carry the guilt of what other people's imaginings are about us, then we can never move forward. Our sexual chakra, our sacral chakra never opens. And without our sacral chakra, we are not as powerful as we could be. Success is never measured by you compared to everyone else, but success is measured by you compared to what you could have been, what you could have done. So when we allow the labels, as Kierkegaard said, the moment you label me, you negate me. If we allow the labels that other people put on us to become our mental creation of ourselves, then we have negated ourselves to only what those labels can be. If someone says that you are just a man, or just a woman, or you're just a black person, or just a white person, or you're just Asian, or you're just Indian, or you're not smart, you're dumb, you're this or you're that, you're handicapped, you're whatever they decide is what you are. You're poverty, you're lower income, you're blue collar, you're white collar, whatever the labels that people try to put on you. If you accept those labels and live based on what those labels are, then that's all you'll ever be. That's all you could ever be, is just that. I already mentioned it once, but that movie, The Green Book, that we watched last night, was interesting. An interesting part of the movie, and I don't want to really spoil it for you, so go watch it. But an interesting part of that movie was the fact that he had a moment. Dr. Don had a moment where he said that he's not accepted by white people, he's not accepted by black people, and he's not man enough. So what is he? What is he? And he really had a moment there where he had to redefine himself for himself. And so we have to define ourselves for ourselves in order to let go of this guilt, so that our sexual chakra can rise. You see, the Ankh has many different teachings, I should say. One of those teachings of people just say, oh, it's everlasting life. This is the womb, this is the ovaries, and the vaginal area, and the portal up to it. There's more than that. This is also your sexual energy, male and female. The energy that travels up from your sacral chakra into your heart. Then once that energy is emotionalized, you loop it around your crown, or you loop it around your throat chakra, your third eye, and your crown, and then back into your heart, and recycle that energy to create a lasting vibration of manifesting whatever it is you choose. This is why Napoleon Hill talks so little but so much about sex transmutation, that the masterminding that he talked about the most was the sexual transmutation of masterminding between a husband and a wife. So through meditation, by focusing that energy and understanding how to bring it up into your heart, into your power chakra, into your throat chakra, into your third eye, into your crown, we begin to transmute that energy to emotionalize it, to rationalize it, to use it for manifestation of speaking into existence. I know of couples who, during their intimacies, they speak into what they want to manifest. During their intimacy, they see with their third eye the vision of what they want to manifest. I've known couples who've spoken of this and who talk about how they do this. There's nothing wrong with it, but I see the manifestations. I've seen the manifestations happen in their life. And for the ones that I'm not in direct contact with that I know do this, I see it on Facebook, the manifestations that are happening in their lives, the realities of it that happens in their lives. And you can do this. And I've mentioned many times before how there's this German study that was back in the 50s, 60s time frame where they showed that, and it's a little misogynistic, but it is of the time frame, where they studied men who went off to work, and the wives who gave their husband the no kiss, those guys made like 30% less than the guys whose wives kissed them like with the big sloppy passionate kiss. The wives who gave their husband the little brother, they were in that 10-15% range of the person who got the big intense kiss. Those who have a stronger intimate connection with their spouse, those people generally do better in life. They generally do better in life because whether they realize it or not, whether it's purposeful or not, that transmutation of their sexual energy manifests itself into a better life, better lifestyle, happier life, that sort of thing. Oh, and if you're watching right now, like I said, tonight, me and my wife, we're going to talk about the idea of happy wife, happy life being a myth, being BS. We're going to do that on Tag Team Marriage, the new YouTube page that I just created. And it's going to be also going to be on Tag Team Weddings page for Facebook. But Tag Team Marriage, YouTube, that's where it's going to be tonight. It's going to be our first video that we do. It's going to be a live. Now, that's in your sacral chakra. I'm trying to move a little faster. I'm not going to keep you guys all day. So our power chakra, but really we got to open these things up in order to get to the higher level of manifesting, of being, of becoming limitless, of not being caught up into this malaise that the world can put you in. So our power chakra is right here in your gut. It's your gut instinct. That's your power chakra. It's blocked by shame. I was going to say fear, but shame. It's blocked by shame, and this is the shame. This is the kind of the guilt that you put on yourself, like the fact that you haven't let something go. The fact that you're still carrying something, the fact that you've deemed yourself unworthy for some strange reason, for whatever it is. Some people deem themselves unworthy because of what other people have told them, but it is when you deem it for yourself. Other people, you've moved away from those people who put shame on you, who put guilt on you. You've moved away from those people. You had a trauma in your life that you dealt with, but now you're still carrying that shame. Those people are gone. Those people are not putting that on you no more. But you're beating yourself up constantly, consistently. You haven't realized that whatever happened was a mistake, and you have learned from it and you've moved from it. This is like, I always, my family, I love them to death. Love them to life. Love my family life. But sometimes we can be discussing something and they will speak on me as if I am still the same person that they grew up with when we were like 12, 14, 15, 16 years old. That things that I did then, they are holding me accountable for it. Now, what blocks my power chakra is when I hold myself still accountable for what they thought of me back then. We have to let that stuff go. As long as you're carrying around that shame, you cannot open your power chakra. It's like, okay, me, I cannot sing. Okay, let me rephrase. Everyone can sing. Everyone can sing. Does it sound good to the general public? That's a whole nother story. Now, because I don't feel like my singing sounds good to the general public, I don't sing from my gut, as I believe trained vocalists are taught to sing. They're taught to sing from their gut. This is where their power comes in, right? Now, I do know when, in sports, when we talk about things, we got to gut it out. You got to pull from that right there. And when you get ready to hit somebody, it comes up. There's a feeling that you have that comes from your gut that really explodes out. For me, I love sales, which is one reason why I started a real estate company here recently. And my popcorn company. I love the transaction. So it's a gut feeling. When I'm in front of people, my gut tells me what to say to people, how to deal with people, how to move with people. It's getting that power out of you. When that power comes, when I'm speaking, you can tell. My wife just recently mentioned to me, like, I did 2 videos, and she was like, you're not confident in that video. I can tell you're not confident in that video. You're not confident in what you're talking about because I can see it in your speech pattern because my gut energy wasn't there. So you got to open that by breathing that in and releasing any kind of shame that you may be carrying in any area. People say that, oh, I don't sing well because out of fear. That you may not sing at all because out of fear, but then you sing horribly because you are not pulling from your gut. You're not pulling from that power, right? So, and I don't, because in the bathroom, oh, I belt it out. In the shower, I'm Pavarotti in the shower. You know, I'm all that. But if I was trying to do something right now, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So that is where your vitality is, your self-esteem exists from that power chakra. So we gotta and release that out. Let go of that shame of what other people may think and what you think of yourself. You know, the lower ends of it. Increase your vibration of your thought. Don't become arrogant, but increase that vibration. And then we finally get to our heart chakra, where the last video supposedly ended and this one was supposed to begin. We get to our heart chakra. That heart chakra is where your love, your creativity comes from. This is blocked by grief, right? This is blocked by holding on to past hurts, holding on to that past, that love that you lost. There are many people who, they had that first love and they got hurt so badly in that first love that every subsequent love doesn't have the opportunity to live, to grow, to blossom. Yeah, they can get in it, but it's like on the polarity scale of happiness and joy, of love and a loving relationship, when they can be all the way over here to the right, instead, they're like right here somewhere in the middle. They're in that area of, I'm just going to get by, or it's safe. It's a safe plot space. It's not as bad over here to the left, but it's in a safe environment. Instead, we focus on moving to the right. We're afraid to move to the right because we know that if we give of ourselves that much, if we allow ourselves to love that much, that we can get hurt just as much to the left. The law of rhythm shows us that however far we swing to the right is as far we can swing to the left. And when you gave that first love the first time, you was high to the right. You was way to the right. And then when it faltered, when it broke, you swung all the way to the left. And that amount of pain is too great for many people to want to come back from. So what they do is they get in the middle. They get in the middle. I've seen many entrepreneurs who they swing for the fences and they build a business, and the business is doing good, is growing, is doing whatever, but then everything goes to hell in a handbasket, and they go to the point where they lose their house, they lose their family, they lose, and they lose so much, and they're so afraid of losing again that they never get back up into the game. They never realize that that was just a setback for them to spring forward, and then they go get a job, and they stay in the middle. I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna get the retirement, I'm gonna do my 401k, I'm gonna buy my house, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna play it safe. The only thing about playing it safe is that you're never happy. You're never truly happy. You may have a decent life. You may have moments of joy, but there's always that thing that's eating away at you that says that it could be better, you could have better. The grass is greener on the other side when you're playing it safe, when you're living in the middle of a pole. The grass is greener. This is not a myth. The grass is greener. You're just too heartbroken and holding on to grief to go get it. So you have to let go of that grief. Breathing in that prana to know that there is greatness out there for you in your financial career, your spiritual life, in your health life, in your relationship life, that is out there for you. And it's the letting go of that old grief to say that I can have that greener pasture. I can have that greatness. I can live in that penthouse, that $1 million house. I can have that great job. I can have that career or that business that it's not even work to me. I can go to a 6, 7, 8. If there were 8 days in a week, 9, 10, 12, 50, 11 days in a week, I can go there and work, and I can work all day, and I'm happy. I'm enjoying it because it's where I want to be. I'm with that person that this is where I want to be constantly, consistently, every day, as much as I can humanly possibly be with this person. I want that, and I want it to be filled with love and fun and joy and happiness, and that's what we got, because I'm willing to swing to the fences of that and not hold on to the past hurts and pains that other people have brought, that I experienced, and now I'm only allowing myself to go so far. As long as you do not, if you don't bridge that gap, it never happens for you. If you don't swing for it, it doesn't happen for you. The reason why I said earlier that the heart chakra can never open to that point if you don't release the lower one, think about what keeps you from being able to truly love and swing for the fences in every aspect of your life. It is the fear of the pain that they could cause you. It is the guilt of what you may have done wrong or what they have done to you and how it appeared to other people. It is the shame of it all that you carry around for yourself that prevents you from truly being able to let go. And because of that, your love is never open. Your love is never there for you to truly experience the greatest aspect of it. Sure, you can have some good stuff, but you're not going to have great stuff. You're not going to have that, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I can't believe that love could be this great. I am actually living the freaking fairy tale. Oh my dang. You're not going to have that unless you're willing to open and get rid of the fear, the guilt, the shame. Then your love can open. And when your love can open, that's when you can go into the true spiritual plane of manifesting. That's when the law of mentalism and the law of vibration and cause and effect and all those things truly come into play. This is when alchemy actually happens. This is when you turn a base thought, a negative thought, or any thought and transmute it up into purity of gold. Because now you can enter into the higher planes of understanding. So in order to do now, once you're there, and see, don't get up here and start focusing on your vision yet. Don't start meditating on, oh, you know what, I'm going to open up a business this year and I can see the business open. I can see the customers coming in, and you start speaking about the customers coming in, speaking about the product, speaking about the service, speaking about you being on stage, speaking about all of this, and you start speaking it. You're putting vision boards up. You got and I can't wait for us to get a bigger house because I need more space. You got your wall with all your post notes on it, with your mapped out plans. You got all this stuff going. You got it all going. Don't start doing that if they're still living in any doubt or fear. The thing about the heart is the brain and the heart are connected. And in the Gospel of Thomas, which is in the Nag Hammadi writings, it says that when the two become one, now the two is not two people. It's not a husband and wife. It is the mind and the heart. It is the rational thinking and the emotional thinking. When those two become one, then they will know how to speak to the universe. See, they cut out a little part from another part where it says that they will then know how to speak to the universe, how to speak to, however you do it. You go to ancestors, you go creator, whatever you do, how to speak to the energies around you, how to get into that synchronicity. They will then speak to it correctly, demanding from it what they truly desire and have an expectation of getting that without a divisive thought. Without thinking a negative, without thinking some workaround, but just the purity of great health, the purity of a great relationship, the purity of building that business, to be able to see it and not see struggle, not see strife, not see the issues, not see failing, not see the what ifs and all that kind of mess that could come with it, because you've gotten rid of all that fear. You've gotten rid of the guilt of, oh, you know, I built the business before. Hell, I had 5 locations for Uncle Renz Popcorn. Now I have none. Everything is online. But that, if I sit up here and I live based on what other people thought about that, then the 2 locations that I called about today can never happen. Or even if they did happen, I would fail at them because I'm carrying around the fear and the guilt of what other people thought. Or if I'm carrying the shame, well, I don't have any shame, but if I had shame about the fact that those 5 locations didn't work out, then I'd be carrying that around. Instead, I carry around the lessons of the mistakes that I made in those. I know what kind of locations to be in. I know what kind of traffic needs to be there. I know what kind of people who need to be shopping in that plaza. I know what kind of anchors I need to have. I know what kind of parking I need to have. I know what the elevation makes a difference. I know what kind of elevation it needs to have. I know the design of the store now, because at one store, the ice cream was in the back, and once I moved it to the front, ice cream sales and Italian ice sales went up. All these different lessons. So I don't carry it as shame. I carry them as lessons to move into the next one. But if I carried them as shame, carried them as guilt, carried them as fear, then I can never move further and manifest it. So don't get into trying to vocalize your manifestation if you're living in any of those things, if you're still living in the grief of it all, still living in the shame, the fear, and the guilt. Don't manifest it with your throat, because actually what you're going to manifest is the opposite. You're going to manifest whatever the leading thoughts are of the guilt, fear, shame, and grief. You're going to manifest those things. So your throat chakra, when you learn how to transmute that sexual energy, bring it up into your throat and you speak it, then you have to realize that you are speaking into what you desire to manifest. And the only thing that blocks that is the lies about it. The lies that you tell yourself, especially, because your throat chakra is where your communication, your creativity comes from. But if it's blocked by the lies that you're telling yourself, like, there are people who will come to me and they want to start a business and they say that, well, Coach Renz, I want to open a business. I want to open up a Jamaican restaurant and I want to open up my side of town where I live. And there's 50 11 other Jamaican restaurants. And they say, well, but my food is different and my food's going to be better and the way I'm setting mine up is going to be this and that and the third. Hey, look, true, you are romanticizing that. The truth of the matter is that you're trying to open up in a very, very crowded market, in a location that has horrible entrance and exit, doesn't have great parking. There's so many flaws. You can have the best in the world. But if you don't account for those things, you keep telling yourself the lie that yours is going to be different because you prayed about it or you manifested it or you did a ritual, or you prayed to your ancestors and all that. Sorry. Not going to happen. Stop telling yourself these lies. You better understand the reality that you live in the as above, so below. What happens on the spiritual does affect the physical. What happens on the spiritual does affect the physical, but what happens on the physical affects the spiritual. So if you're down here trying to manifest something that in the physical goes against the law, the laws of vibration, the law of correspondence, the law of vibration, the law of mentalism, the law of gender, goes against those laws, it ain't going. The spiritual can't do nothing about it. It's gonna act in accordance to what's here. Because we have to understand, when you're trying to manifest something on the physical, and there are things on the physical that blocks those things from happening, then the spiritual is really just trying to get you in synchronicity. It's trying to get into synchronicity. It can't get into synchronicity with things that are impossible or implausible to happen. It doesn't work that way. I know you haven't been taught that because you've been given a lot of feel-good stuff all the time, but it doesn't work that way. The higher plane doesn't look so much to overrule the lower planes, but it looks more to get in synchronicity with the lower planes. That's why the lower planes need to look to get into synchronicity with the higher planes in order to manifest what it is you choose to manifest. So when a person wants to open up a business in a highly saturated area, in a bad location, it won't matter how good it is. It may even eke out a job for that person, but it won't thrive as great as it could thrive simply because the synchronicity is off. Yeah, you were able to open. Yeah, you got some customers, but you don't have the customer that creates a business system that function without you because you didn't want to synchronize with the spiritual plane that says that, hey, there are no Jamaican restaurants over on that side of town. There's a great location that's easy to get in and get out of. There are the financials of those people are in a situation that can afford it and will buy it, and you're providing something that they don't have. You didn't want to get in synchronicity with that, so you're not as successful as you could be. And like I said earlier, success is not you compared to other people, it's you compared to what you could be. So we got to get it into synchronicity. So don't worry about. So the lies that you speak is the one that you romanticize the situation to try to make it work for you, and try to force it. Universe don't work on force like that. It rather works where things work seamlessly, where things are naturally attracted to one another. That's this law of attraction. Things naturally are attracted to one another. Likeness is attracted to likeness. I know y'all like to think on magnets, opposites attract. No, like things are attracted to similar like things. You vibe with your tribe. If you are, what's the old saying? If you are around 9 broke people, you are about to become number 10 because you will manifest yourself. You will vibrate on the level that they vibrate on. Either you're going to break yourself or they're going to break you. So we have to open up that throat chakra so that we're speaking truth. Truth. Just truth. It is what it is. Sorry. Get over it. Can't help you. It is what it is. So that when we move to our third eye, when we want to get to that part where we say we have vision, where we access our pineal gland, where we get the DMT in our dreams and we can manifest through our dreams, dream state, where we go into our deep meditation and we focus on visualizing in our third eye. As I said, let our single eye be clear. When we want to focus and visualize in that level, we can't be telling ourselves lies, because if we do, then we will believe the lie that all of this is an illusion, that everything is an illusion, that we're completely disconnected from one another, that we're all separate, that you exist on an island by yourself, and not realizing that Through your third eye is how you connect to source, and through connecting to source and that infinite knowledge, through your vision, through your dreams, that we are able to focus and see things, that we can then see the truth of what our visions are telling us, showing us. You know, I've had dreams, and I constantly dream. And I have dreams that I dream pretty much every night. And I mean, my third eye, I mean, that is so decalcified, mainly the way I eat and all my meditation, that I dream every night. And some of those dreams are crazy, like they appear crazy. But then as I meditate on them, the message becomes clear. Many people have dreams, but the message is never clear. And then they go to books and they say, well, what does this book mean? You know, it mean, oh, I saw a sparrow, so a sparrow means this. I saw a dragon, it means this. I saw an ex, and I saw an ex-spouse, or I saw an ex-girlfriend, boyfriend. I saw my children. I saw my grandparents who are no longer with us. I saw this, saw that. But they don't get the meaning. And then there's subtle things. They were wearing certain colors. They were eating certain things in certain rooms. There are certain aspects, details that they didn't notice, didn't pay attention to, because they haven't truly accessed that vision. You go into your meditation, you see certain things, but you hadn't truly accessed it. You miss certain aspects of it. Why? You missed as they say in movies, you missed the Easter eggs, right? Because you haven't realized the connection. Everything is connected. So when we open up, we know there's no pain, no fear, no grief, no shame. There's no guilt. We are open to new love, new experiences. We are not lying to ourselves, and we are accepting of all that is true and reality for us. Understanding reality for you. Don't force yours on other people. That's how we become disconnected, when we force it on other people. And you see that open, true reality, then you start getting your true vision, your true pathway for you, the way that makes you great. Because I can tell you guys to do things the way I do them, but that may not necessarily work for everybody. This is why many people fell off from me, because I stopped doing all these religious debates. I stopped trying to convince people of factual information from historical point of views who are caught into their belief system so deep that all they can see is what they see, because people are going to make information fit whatever they want to fit their current belief, their current thought process. And I realized, and I stopped arguing and debating, and I started saying, you know what? The only thing that matters to me is helping people in whatever mechanism they use to grow, to get better. That's what matters most to me. That's what my mission that I know that I am here for. Is in the same way I was speaking to a gentleman, he practiced Ifa, and I was telling him that I went through an Ifa reading, and, you know, as a son of Eshu, which is crossroads, a child of the crossroads, it is bridging people together. And it was, you know, I didn't even say anything to the guy about who I was, things that I do, that sort of thing. It just came out in the reading. No matter what aspect of it I look at, it always comes out the same as someone who bridges people, who helps people cross pathways and better themselves. But it's not for me to choose your pathway. So in your visions, it is not for me to choose it, not for anybody to choose it, nor for you to choose it for anybody else, but for you to recognize where people are and move with them. I think one of the greatest teachings out there comes in every teaching out there, and that is to love yourself as you love your neighbor. The golden rule: do unto others that you will have them do unto you. Because as soon as you say to yourself, you know, I know people, what was it back in the day? It was the WWJD. All right, but you can't manifest in the mindset of, if you believe in Jesus, you can't you're not going to put yourself on the same plane as Jesus. If you believe in Muhammad, you're not going to put yourself on the same plane as Muhammad. You're not going to put yourself, even though in Buddhism they teach that everyone can become a Buddha, as well as in the Hindu. Actually, the title Buddha is in Hindu, and because it's Buddha, it's Bud in the Hindu. But the Hindu and the Buddhists teach that everyone's goal is to become a Buddha, an enlightened one, one who's awakened. But they won't put themselves on the same playing field as Siddhartha. They won't do that. They'll keep themselves below. They won't put themselves on the same playing field as the apostles. They won't put themselves on the same playing field as the great imams that have come before. They'll always keep themselves lower, right? And as long as you keep yourself lower, you're never going to get there. You're never going to get there. You're never going to open up and be able to access that crown chakra. Because that crown chakra is open when you release all your earthly attachments. You see, if I have an earthly attachment to all these different traditions, then I can never access the higher thinking, the higher levels of being. So we have to understand that when that heart energy, that sexually transmuted energy hits that heart and unks around the crown, that if we're holding on to the traditions, the thoughts of people who are long dead and gone, then we're never going to become the greatest version. We're never going to really get to that point of the lotus open, the of hitting that total awareness. You know how like athletes, they're playing sports and they have that one game where they would just their awareness was just so on point that they just have that 80-point game, or the bucket, like Jordan said one time, the bucket just looked like a big old barrel, right? It was like 5 times bigger than it really is. That's how it appeared to him, because he was in the zone. You know, we have people say they've been in the zone. We don't get into that level of awareness because we continue to lower ourselves and hold on. See, many people think holding on to earthly attachments is material attachments or relationship attachment, but it's traditional attachments as well. It's custom attachment. It's cultural attachment. It's all different types of attachments. It's the ability to be able to hold on and let go at the same time. Breathing in that prana of life, that knowledge, that information, that connection with infinite source, and then releasing it all to say that, you know, it just is what it is. I used it for what its purpose was for. It elevated me. It elevated my consciousness. It elevated my mindset. It elevated, you know, my vibration, and rose in it. And now I've released it so that I can continue on. Some people, you know the term where they say, I love you so much, I'm willing to let you go. Now, many people know that one, right? You know that one. I love you so much, I'm willing to let you go, right? Because I'm going to put it into my own self. Before marrying Madonna, you know, I dated people. Now, I had a problem of letting go in the fact of I never want to hurt people. I got involved in some relationships that within a week or 2 weeks, I knew I should have let that relationship go, but I stayed there. I stayed there for like months and months and months because I don't like hurting people, right? But then there comes a point where I had to say, I got to let go, not only for my own sake, but for their sake as well. Because I know that if we stayed, then I was going to create damage in that person's life. And that's not what you want to do. You don't want to create damage in other people's lives because you're also creating damage in your own life. So I had the awareness to let them go so that they can go on and hopefully learn from that situation, not hold in the grief, learn from that situation and become a better version, pick better, do better within their following, their subsequent relationships. That is my goal, my hope, and not my goal, but that is my hope, that is what occurred in their lives. I don't know what occurred in their lives, but I hope that that's what's occurring in their lives right now. And many people can't conceptualize that on anything positive. It's usually thought of in a negative or in a painful way. Oh, we know I love them so much I have to let them go, but you're holding on to some grief. There's a part of you that wants the other person to suffer. You know, there's all those different things that's going on, but we have to be able to let things go. We have to be able to let cultural things go. If something in your culture, in your tradition, is not beneficial to you, the question becomes, why are you holding on to it? Why do you still grasp it and hold that prana, not allowing the nirvana of kingdom, of heaven, of nirvana or samadhi, not allowing for that to become your existence? You see, we can't transmute our energy to the next level. We can't manifest to the next level if we're still holding on to this one. We're still holding on to this one. How can we ever get there? If we hold on to everything that the traditions of man has said, then how can we ever get to the next level? We can't. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So in order for us to go unlimited, we have to be willing to let go of everything. We have to be willing to accept the true and gain the true vision of everything. We have to not tell ourselves these lies that we have romanticized in our lives, and we have to let go of that grief. Let go of the grief, let go of the shame, let go of the guilt that other people has brought upon us, the shame that we give ourselves, the guilt that other people have brought upon us, and we cannot live in fear. If you ever live in fear, then all chakras are blocked. All chakras. So you could not be living in fear in your financial life, but in your health life, you're living in fear. In your relationship life, you're living in fear. You may not be doing it in your relationship, but you're doing it in your finances. And I want you to think about something. You may be living open and great relationship wise for a while, but if your finances are constantly in fear, constantly being like going up and down and just being tormenting in your life, how long do you think that love relationship gonna last? If your health is getting worse and worse, and I know the old traditional marriage vow said, in sickness and in health. Okay, that was talking about like if you got sick, like a disease, something like that. But a lot of these are self-induced. When you're a glutton, when you're overeating, when you're eating foods that just constantly, and I'm saying not saying, hey, it'd be great to become vegetarian. I'm not going vegan, I can tell you that right now, but it'd be great to become vegetarian. And you got to become the right type of vegetarian because there are unhealthy vegetarians out there as well. If you are living an unhealthy life on purpose, whether it's through food, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through smoking, whether it's through alcohol, whether it's through anything that you are doing in excess that creates an unhealthy lifestyle, and you are the one who can change it, you have the power of cause and effect to change the vibration of it. Do you think your loved one will sit there and be in the ultimate bliss with you? Or do you think that they will put up with it for a while, deal with it, allow it to be this point that swings you to more of a rut lifestyle instead of vibrating you to the highest end of life? If you think about it, and I used to piss off older heavyweight people when I would say that, you say that your body is a temple for the Holy Spirit, but look at the temple. The temple is disgusting. The temple is crowded with fat cells all over the place. The temple has has liver disease. And it's preventable. Not now if it's hereditary or something like that. Okay, but when the liver is corrosive, I forgot what the term is for the liver when it's all jacked up. But when your liver is that way, when your lungs are filled with tar, and you're saying that this divine spirit is existing in your body, right? Is dwelling in you. Well, what the house look like? Like, if you walked into someone's home, and this is me. If I walked into somebody's house and the house is nasty, one, I ain't sitting nowhere. Two, I dang sure ain't eating nothing. I ain't drinking nothing. I don't even want to go use their restroom. As a matter of fact, there was a client that when I was a personal trainer and I went to my clients' homes, in her guest bathroom, it had a dark, nasty, black, and greenish ring around it. Never did I go into that restroom again. And I began to train her outside because I wasn't training her inside her house. And then one time she asked me, why won't I train her in her house like I do my other clients? And I just told her, because your house is nasty. Your house is disgusting. And I said, and this was part of my training of her, is that I look at life transformation training. I said, the reason why you suffer financially, the reason why you suffer in your job is because you may dress yourself and look nice on the outside, but on the inside, you're just as disorganized and as corrosive as the interior of your home. Your home is just demonstrating a symptom of it. And that's what I was going to with another part earlier. Your home is just demonstrating a symptom of it because you are still affected by some trauma that allows you to live and exist this way. Most of us are affected by some trauma, and the symptoms of it are in our alcohol, drugs, over-sexualized attitudes, holding on to traditions, diminishing our presence of who we are and what we can be. You can have a Christ mind, a Buddha head, if you stop diminishing yourself in comparison to those who said, hey, I came to show you how to be like me. That's what they ultimately are telling you based on your tradition. But you hold yourself down because you're holding on to past traumas. You got to let go of those traumas. Those traumas is what's keeping you in fear, keeping you in guilt and shame and grief. They're keeping your lower chakras from ever opening because you're holding on to those traumas. And those traumas are on the lower end, and you cannot get into synchronicity with the spiritual plane until you do so. So we got to get into our meditation. And before I go, I want to give you guys some sounds, vibrations. If you look, Dr. Royal Rife, look up Dr. Royal Rife. He cured, I think it's 16 or 18 people of cancer just by using frequencies. And then he died, and he all of a sudden mysteriously died, and all his research went away for a long time. There's so much in vibration and sound. So I want to quickly go over seven solfeggios, the seven solfeggio scale that you should go listen as you're meditating. When you're working on your chakras, I want you to listen to these solfeggios. I do sleep solfeggios and listen to these solfeggios while you're doing it. So when you're asleep or meditating, if you're working on your root chakra, listen to a 396 hertz solfeggio. When you're working on your sacral chakra, your solfeggio is the 417 hertz. Your heart chakra, the solfeggio your power chakra, your power chakra solfeggio is your 528. Now, sometimes you can go 432, but don't do 432 most of the time. Do your 528 solfeggio. Then your heart chakra is your 639 hertz. Throat chakra is your 741 hertz. Your third eye chakra is your 852 hertz. And your crown chakra is your 963 hertz. Go listen to these as you sleep. Listen to these as you meditate, and they will get your vibrational pattern. It will help you to get your vibrational patterns in the right mix. Get your mind right. Get your emotions right. And when you have the stray thought, come back to it. You'll be okay. Just let it come through. Let it pass. Let it do what it do, and then go right back to where you were. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I truly did. Y'all have a great day. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Continue to support the channel by ordering from Uncle Renz Popcorn. That is the letter U, the letter R, the word popcorn.com. Join me and my wife on the Tag Team Marriage YouTube channel that's starting tonight, as well as visit and subscribe to my other channel, which is Homes for Sale Atlanta. If you're looking at moving to the city of Atlanta, or you already just want to buy a house and there's a great opportunity to buy one right now, please think of me as your agent to help you find your home sweet home. Y'all have a great day and continue to vibrate on the higher end of the scale. Later.